When I was diagnosed, I was newly 8 years old, and now I'm 15, so 7 years. When I was diagnosed, it was really interesting because nobody really told me what was going on. All I was told was that I had to go to the emergency room, and when I asked why, nobody would tell me. It was really weird, but interesting. Here I am. I know everything now.
I, like so many people, had a misperception about diabetes and lumped it in with type 2. And I thought when I first heard that my son was diagnosed when he was just 18 months, I thought, well, okay, well, what do I have to do? I have to give him a shot and just make sure he doesn't eat sugar. That was very wrong. And I learned quickly how complicated of a disease it is and how it is 24/7, doesn't give you a break.
Some of my earliest memories involve my mother coming into my room in the middle of the night and trying to sort of gently say, like, Daddy's not feeling well, the doctors are coming here, they're gonna make him better. And she always tried to keep me calm, but I do always remember feeling a little bit scared. And I distinctly remember one time asking my mom, like, make sure they don't give him a shot, because in my mind, shots were like the most painful thing from a doctor, which is ironic because he was giving himself insulin shots every day, but I didn't equate those two things. Like, I thought a doctor's shot was like the worst pain in the world.
In middle school, we had this one little scare where we sat in the nurse's office for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because her blood sugar was way too high, and the nurse was refusing to let her go because she was just pale and groggy and shaky. So it was definitely a scary moment because I've never seen her before like that. So seeing her in that state was just not, the best.
Every parent of a child with type 1 is afraid for them. It's a very tricky disease. We're fortunate in that we have devices that help us a lot, but they're not foolproof.
First, I only had a pump. I still had to prick my finger a lot throughout the day. But then I got the Dexcom, and that really changed a lot because I did not have to check my blood sugar as much. Then I got the CGM, and that even helped more.
To care for my diabetes, I use an insulin pump and a constant glucose monitor. And that has changed because when I was first diagnosed, I was originally on 2 different types of insulin. I had Humalog for during the daytime for all of my meals and stuff, and before that I'd have to give myself a different kind called Lantus, and that was like a 24-hour insulin.
I have had a few weird experiences or interactions based on my type 1. I once got asked if I was microchipped for wearing a CGM on my arm. That was fun. I have been stopped and asked what that is. I've had people be like, why are you still wearing a pager? I actually had to return home from China. I was teaching English and I was unable to get all of the supplies that I needed while I was there.
I do get the kind of question sometimes about if it's type 2, because the public usually considers diabetes, usually they think of type 2, so I usually have to clarify.
One cool thing about type 1 diabetics is that I've learned is that because my father has had to eat so well and so healthily and take care of his body so well since the age of 7, I feel like in some ways he's a lot healthier than the average person because he has to watch his carbs. We also have a history of heart disease in my family, so there's also that he has to worry about. And so I think that's something that's sort of a silver lining, is that he's had to take extra good care of his body.
A lot of people assume diabetes, no sugar, when that's not true for type 1 diabetics. I know Ava has a very large sweet tooth, and we've made several cakes together.
Diabetes has definitely impacted who I am. I feel like it's made me a much stronger person, and I'm able to kind of see things in a different light because I know how it's gonna affect me in the long run, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think it's definitely impacted me in a big way.
One thing I would like people to know about type 1 diabetes is that there's no way to prevent it, and that it is filled with highs and lows, and just to be kind. And it's a lot more difficult, and there's a lot more that goes into it than most people know. So just be supportive.
T1D, you do not get it from eating sugar. Type 1 diabetes. It's an immunodisorder. It's the disease of 1,000 diseases. But we've come a long way.